Great.
Hi everyone, how are you?
Good.
Yeah, this is so great. Okay, cool. So let's see, we've got one, two, three, four, five. We're waiting on one more. So we should be able to, yes, we'll be waiting for a couple more minutes. Yeah, nice to actually put names with faces. This is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
And, and
Oh,
again,
lovely
I'm
to.
sorry, my setup was a little bit different, but my iPad wasn't letting me access it, so I'm going to be kind of going back and forth between a couple different uh, things. So I apologize for that.
You're good, Jamie. Don't worry.
Well,
Just be
thank you.
yourself.
I will try. Let's see. All right, so that means I have to kind of split
Mute
my
for me.
screen here. So make sure you are not speaking. Just make sure that you are muted, please. All right, let's see. Take a look at my agenda here. So were each of you able to receive that email that I sent to you last minute? Again, I'm so sorry for the last minute. Oh yes, Leah, go ahead. You had a question?
Oh, I did. Well, I didn't. I don't think I meant to raise my hand.
Oh,
But and maybe you were about to say this. I couldn't actually access the updated because I don't have a Microsoft Office or like Teams account or whatever you needed. So it like just brought me to a sign into your account page, but then I couldn't do anything past that.
okay, that's my bad. I will make sure that we can do that. Because I sent the link. Karen, would you if you that link that you guys sent? I'm not sure if there's another way we can do it so that the committee members also have access to that in the future.
Yep, thanks for flagging it. We will we will figure out how to make sure you have access to everything.
Ashley is actually Commissioner Sycamore. Way to go, Ashley. That's.
Yeah, Ashley,
I
welcome
want to
back.
be Commissioner Sycamore too. I'm going to change my name to Commissioner Sycamore.
To be on the call. I'm excited.
We'll just put it right here. So,
Ashley, look at all these nice people.
I know. I'm so nervous with Ashley here, and she's kind of my predecessor. So,
No, you'll do a great job. You always do.
oh, thank you. All right, I think we've got most everyone here. So, let's see. I will call this meeting to order at 6:05 p.m. on February 12th, 2025. I will do a quick roll call. And when I call your name, just please say here. Oh, let's see, pull this up. Committee member Ashley Fields.
Here.
Committee member Gabrielle Savelli.
Sure, that's it. That's very good. Yes, that's here.
Savelli, yeah, great. Committee member Aaron Short.
Hi, here.
Wonderful. Committee member Leah Tribbett.
Yeah, that's right. Here.
Awesome. Committee member Aubrey Masters. Aubrey Masters, I'm sorry.
Yes, Aubrey, here. Thank you.
Okay. And committee member Ms. Dion McDo.
McAdoo. Here.
Wonderful. Wonderful. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 committee members out of 7, we have a quorum. Woo! Welcome to our first meeting. This is fantastic. Thank you all so much for joining this committee. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I have a lot of great ideas, and I really want to work on your ideas as well. Before we get started, I kind of want to get to know each other just a little bit. Would you mind telling me, or telling everybody rather, who you are, what got you interested in doing this, and where you live. Yeah, just give us a little brief history of yourself so everyone knows what's going on. And we'll start with committee member Leah Trivett.
Hi, I'm Leah. Pronouns are she, her. I'm in 08, I think is the sector. I'm right by the Trader Joe's. And
Mhm.
what was, the last question was what brought us to the committee?
Yeah, like any reason for you wanting to come here?
Yeah, I think the biggest part is I recently moved to DC about a year and a half ago, and I was involved in similar work in Boston, where I lived for 10 years before this. So was very excited to see that there was a committee around public engagement. So just like super excited to be involved in our ward.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I go up to work in Boston quite often, so I think it's a wonderful little city. It's fun. Doesn't compare to DC though. I like DC a little bit better. Maybe I'm a little biased. All right, Miss Aubrey. Audrey. Oh, wait, yeah, Aubrey.
Aubrey, yeah.
Aubrey.
Um,
Okay.
so I, I'm Aubrey. I live on Florida Ave, like right across from Franklin Hall. Everyone knows where that is.
Okay. So
Um,
you're my constituent.
yes, I am.
Yes,
Um,
wonderful.
and I voted for you.
Oh, thank
But
you.
I'm a social worker. I do a lot of micro social work in therapy, but I believe in macro social work. I think community engagement is the way to make effective change and really bring together um, members of the community. So I'm just excited to get involved. Um, I feel like the concept of the neighbor is kind of getting lost in newer times, and I think it's important to know who you live around. So
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. And how long have you lived in the neighborhood?
lived in this neighborhood for 2 years. I lived in DC for like 3.5 years.
Well, that's great. Well, welcome, welcome. I love it. All right, Miss Gabriella.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Yep. I'm Gabriella Savelli. I live on the corner of 15th and Chapin, right across from Meridian Hill or Malcolm X Park entrance there. And oh man, I think I've lived here off and on for a decade. And just through a series of events last year, I was going to one of the very entertaining AMC 1B meetings, and they announced that they were letting people co-chair different committees. And Ashley is here, had the Public Safety and Community Engagement Committee, and she let me co-chair with her. And I really thought that was a really good union. I think everybody's concerned about public safety, and community engagement definitely increases public safety. And I agree with you, Aubrey. It's just not, that is something that needs to be enhanced, especially in cities that have a lot of transient nature. So yeah, I asked Ashley which committee she's going to be on. She said this one. But I will say, last year when I was learning about committees and was on it, a lot of times my request was for Jamie Sycamore to be involved. So this was a double bonus for me that he's actually the chair for this one. And I'm so enthused to see you all. Like, this is really very nice. I'm excited to learn about what your things you're thinking of. And one last thing, today is a full moon in February, and it's known as the snow moon, randomly. So as you all know, today was like a snow day in DC. So nature seems to be in line.
There we go. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. And Miss Short.
Hi,
And if
thanks
there's
so
anything that you
much.
prefer to be called, please let me know.
Thanks. So I live at the top of the hill in the Adams Garden Towers, right across from Meridian Hill Park. So Gabrielle, I think we're very close neighbors. I moved to DC. It'll be 2 years in April. It was a bit of a quick decision. I've been coming to the city for years for work, and I always was just looking for a change. I moved down from Providence, so fellow New Englander here, Leah. I really loved the community I had in Providence. It's a small city, much smaller than Boston, small but mighty. So I was kind of looking for that connection as well. And when this opportunity, I think I met Miguel. He chatted me up on chatted me up on the corner one day, and I started getting his newsletters, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're so charming. And then this was part of the newsletter, and I was like, why not? So I'm just here to listen and learn. This is my first time being on a neighborhood committee, but I'm really excited to kind of get to know this neighborhood that I've definitely grown to love. I keep discovering new things about it, and it was kind of on a whim that I picked this neighborhood to live in. And I've really come to enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to learning more about it from all of you. So thanks so much.
Well, again, I'm a little bit biased, but I think you picked some of the best neighborhoods to live in. So yeah, and I've been to Providence before. I actually went to Providence Pride a couple years ago, and it was the only Pride that's ever done happens at night. Everything's all lit up, and it's really cool. I really loved it. Very unique, quirky little city. Definitely enjoy it, and I'm really excited to have you on board. Thank you, Miss Dion.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dion. I live near Whole Foods. I think that's 1B6, possibly. I am a mom of two. My son is 20. Oh, that hurts to say. He is in his second year of college, and my daughter is 8. She goes to Seton. And so I've always wanted to be actively involved in things going on in my neighborhood. I just never had the time. My son played basketball for many moving, traveling teams, and I just never really could commit to things like this. And so now that things have slowed down, he's away in college and responsible for himself. And my daughter is pretty even with the things that she's into. The schedule's regular. I'm excited because now I get to delve into some of the things that I actually want to seek and explore. So I kind of want to get to know what's going on in my neighborhood. I am a third generation Washingtonian. Fun fact, I grew up in the Shaw neighborhood on 5th and N Street Northwest, right by United House of Prayer Church. And my mom grew up right near Cardoza at the corner of 11th and Euclid Street Northeast. That is our family home, or was our family home. We've since transitioned to another family home. My grandmom's, of course, an empty nester and has been so. We've downsized a bit, but third generation Washingtonian, lots of family members here, lots going on. And so I'm excited about the different things that are happening within the city. I just kind of want to be involved, kind of want to get my toes wet, not too far into it, but just to kind of see the things that are going on. And so as a choice in my career, I decided to be a community outreach specialist about 5 years ago and work with different families in the special education sector. And so that's my niche. It's something that I enjoy. I did not start out thinking that I would be in this field or doing this work, but it's something that I love. And so community outreach, engagement kind of goes hand in hand. I figured it's a new committee. Let me see what this is about. So I'm excited to be here.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that we have parents on here, especially parents that have kids who are currently enrolled in DCPS. This is one of the great things that I'm really excited about this committee is I want to make sure we get our schools involved. I think for a long time, we've been kind of separating our schools for a long time, but our schools and our community are so intertwined right now, especially when it comes to neighborhoods like Cardozo, where my district completely surrounds. And it's really very important that we know what's going on and that they know what's going on in our community, because it's a mutual benefit for everyone, for the students, the parents, and the community members to know what's going on and to make sure that we are keeping people safe and well informed. And I also want to connect you with Miss Christine Miller, who is a commissioner up in 1A. She's really heavily involved in education, and I think you two would really hit it off quite well. So I'll definitely link you two up because you two can talk about education all day, I'm sure. That's great. And last but certainly not least, former Commissioner Ashley Fields.
Yes, thank you. I'm so excited that this new committee is forming and starting. I'll just say, well, my name's Ashley. Let me start there. I live in 1B07, so I live on V Street. I moved around the corner. I used to live at Sonnet, but I also went to Howard University. So I'd say I've been in the neighborhood for about 5 years, and I feel like I've grown to really love it and appreciate all the small parts of it that I'm sure everybody here loves. And so I got involved with ANC 1B about 2 years ago and started as a commissioner. And then I was able to chair this committee with Gabriella Savelli, who did amazing work. And so we just connected so many of our community members, so many of our neighbors. We were able to serve. There were projects that we left unturned. So I'm excited to be here tonight to maybe try and pick those things up in the future. But I know that Commissioner Sycamore is here to lead us and guide us in this effort. And so I'm really excited about it. And it's great to meet all of you guys tonight. And I hope that we can have an amazing year.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, former Commissioner Fields and Ms. Savini as well for your past service. I think this is absolutely fantastic. I will definitely be leaning on you for some guidance. I'm here just kind of as a little bit of a walkthrough. I want this really to be a collaborative committee as much as we possibly can. So that's fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to pick up where you left off from last term. As far as me, hi, I'm Jamie Sycamore. I am a almost 20-year resident of the District of Columbia. I moved here in 2000, just the very tail end of 2007, 2008. I originally lived on campus at Gallaudet University, so that's where I went to school. I'm a sign language interpreter and a disabilities advocate and policy advisor, so I do all sorts of fun things related in that realm. As a lot of you probably know, a lot of that's under attack right now, so we're kind of scrambling, doing a lot of that fun kind of stuff right now. So I've been involved in the community for many, many years. I'm originally from upstate New York. My grandmother was always involved in politics. Yes, from Rochester. So my grandmother was heavily involved in politics, and it kind of runs in my blood a little bit. This is now my second term as an ANC commissioner. I have run for council once before in 2018 as a independent. I did start in the Democratic primary, then I dropped out and ran as an independent. But yeah, that's kind of where I am with this, and I'm very excited. I am very much an extrovert. Love talking to people. I love door knocking, which is really odd. But I love talking to new people and getting people involved. And I'm hoping that y'all are just as excited as I am. So with that being said, let's get our nails a little dirty. All right, so we've talked about the welcome and the review. So let's talk about some of these committee rules. So a lot of people are very strict on Robert's rules. I'm not that strict on Robert's rules. I think we're all adults here. We all have some really wonderful respect for each other. And if things do get heated, I will pull rank and I will pull in Robert's rules. If you're not familiar with what Robert's rules is, it's just rules of parliamentary procedure on how people will go back and forth and how the chair of a committee handles that discourse. Again, we're not a big committee, and I don't think that we have any hot issues. And if we do, I will then pull rank and then start doing Robert's rules. But in the meantime, I want this to try to be as an open and honest committee as possible. If people are talking, please make sure that you respect that, raise your hand. I don't foresee any problems or hot topics that are coming, but you never know. So that's kind of my ground rules on that. As far as votes are concerned, we're just going to be doing a simple majority rules. So hands up, and we'll be counting and taking that roll. If for some reason you feel like you want to have that put on record as far as who has voted for what, as far as a yay or a nay, you can ask for a roll call. And that point that I would go through each and every individual member and tally it that way. Otherwise, it's just going to be 6, 4, 1 against. That being said, when we do have a vote, when we call for, that means yes, you support this either grant proposal or this this motion or this what's it called, proposal or my goodness, my mind just went blank. A resolution. Thank you. So that or a resolution, anytime that means you support it. If you nay, means you are against it. And if you abstain, that means your vote does not count, but you are still here as a voting member, but you just have decided to sit this one out, either because of a conflict of interest or because of some other reason that you do not have to disclose. You can abstain at any time. Our votes here are not binding. What we do here is we are just advisory towards the commission and what we do. So some of our things that we do are binding legally, some of them are not. So a lot of it comes down to like alcohol licensing and things of that nature, and also coming down to zoning, which are things that we really don't touch in this committee. But I just want to let you know that we do have a lot of this is the power of the purse for us. So like where we're going to be spending money on advertising and outreach and connecting with the community. And I don't know, who knows, maybe fun shirts or something, who knows? So that's something that we can be talking about and trying to get as many people involved as possible. If you do feel like you want to have a really large discussion on this, then I'm totally for that, whatever topic you need to talk about. Do we have any questions so far? No? Okay. And apologies for my voice. I'm just getting over a really nasty cold. So, so awesome. Let us move on. The next agenda item, review discussion on vote grant application of the Harrison Rec Center. All right, cool. So this is our first item of business. So because we have not had previous meetings, we do not have minutes to approve, nor do we have former Commissioner Fields, do we need to approve a consent agenda during committee?
I didn't do it before, no. But we did need to establish quorum. I mean, but we already have that, so I take all of them.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, already established quorum. Yeah, thank you so much for that guidance. I appreciate it. All right, cool. So what we will do is we'll review the Harrison grant application. What I'm going to do is, because I know I messed that up, I'm going to be sharing my screen, and I want to see if the grantee is possibly in the audience. Mr. Jeffrey Willis. Aha, here we go. I will allow him to talk. Promote him, allowed to talk. There we go. And Mr. Willis, I will call you in just a few minutes here. I just want to get this up on the screen and kind of review this with our committee members, if that's all right.
Sure.
Sounds great. Thank you. All right, let me pull this up. Here we go. Now I have to figure out how to share screen. Let's see. Under more, I'm assuming. Breakout rooms. Meeting.
To share screen, you don't have like a green arrow at the bottom, Jamie? I have one right in the center.
Yes. Yep, you do. Yes,
and then you
right.
have to
Thank
choose,
you.
if it's going to have sound, you have to share sound, and then also just click whatever thing you want to share.
Okay, there we go. Can you see my screen?
Is it like a orange kind of landscape thing?
Yep. Can you see me? Can you see it says view results?
Correct. We see that.
Okay, wonderful. So I just want to kind of walk this through with everybody. I know this is a very quick thing, and I should have had this sent out to you before, and I apologize. I will make sure that that does not ever happen again and that you are ever surprised with anything. But I just want to review this application with you very quickly. So this is the Vermont Avenue Garden Spring Work Party. This happens, I believe, twice a year. This year, the grantee is asking for the event's happening on April 26th of 2025. If you're not familiar with this project, it happens every single year along the way of, I believe it's from T Street on Vermont Avenue all the way up until it hits Florida Avenue. So it's a beautification project. It happens every year. They plant in new trees and flowers and gardening and watering and manures and all that fun stuff. It's really fantastic. It really beautifies the neighborhood. It's great for the businesses there. It's also great for the Stay School, makes everything really, really nice and beautiful. And I'm always grateful to see them doing this project every single year. So as we go down, we're going to see the name of the applicant and the address, which is the Frank Smith, founder and executive director of the African American Civil War Museum. We have the applicant's website right here. So if you are interested, you can check that out at afroamcivilwar.org. Our tax IDs here. And we also have Mr. Williams, who's our point person, our email. This is the total of the event project cost right here, and what they are requesting from the ANC, which is the maximum amount of $500. And then right here is a brief description of what it is. This will be the 22nd annual Vermont Avenue Spring Garden Work Party with the newer fall event added a few years ago. Over 60 volunteers hit the street to clean up, weed, plant, and mulch the median beds of the quarter-mile stretch of Vermont Avenue, and now include the sidewalk beds of Vermont and Florida. Ooh, that's new. I like that. Throughout the year, several volunteers also provide ongoing maintenance. Over 50 trees and several hundred shrubs and flowers have been planted and maintained. Thousands of residents and visitors walking, riding, or driving enjoy the beauty and the environmental benefits each day. So this is how does this benefit us is basically what number 13 says, and it says ANC 1B will prominently be recognized in our e-blasts to our neighbors and social media and flyers to nearby residents and on posters placed on local businesses along the event route. So that's what we have here. Do we have any questions? You can just take yourself off of mute if you have any questions, and then I will let Mr. Willis speak. Hearing none, Mr. Willis, would you like to take the floor?
Sure. I'm not seeing myself. Are you seeing me?
Nope, but that's okay. We can hear you.
Nope. Well, sorry. So you don't get to see my friend,
okay.
The dog joining me. What better day to pick maybe to pitch you guys for some spring gardening work here than another cold, wet, snowy, winter. But it's going to get better. Yeah, April 26th is our chosen date this year. This is the 22nd year that we've been doing this. I have been the coordinator for 22 years, so been in the neighborhood for a while. I do want to thank you all for joining this committee. This could arguably be the best or the most important, hopefully the best committee going for our ANC, really. I do think there's a need to outreach and really reach constituents here better. So I hope you'll take this, very seriously. I know you're advisors to the ANC, but I believe very strongly in committees. They need to rely on you. So thanks for that. I think most of, the information is in there, hopefully what you need. I want to clarify a couple of things, I guess. We are the Vermont Avenue Gardens. That is not an incorporated, nonprofit thing. So we operate under Frank Smith's museum, which is a 501(c)(3). They keep the books for us. And that's been that way for many, many years. And also we do have 2 work parties during the year. We have a fall work party as well. And we may ask for some assistance with that, depending on how the budget goes. It's about a $5,000 a year operation. As it says on the application here, we expect to spend about $2,500 on the spring event. And we have, like 60 people who come out for that. T-shirts, bling. It's gotten to be quite a scene. I used to hand make the posters from a poster board from the CVS, but we now have a graphics designer, and it's become a very nice affair. And your support has been appreciated for several years now. So I think we have experience with you. Commissioner Chairman Fields guided us last year, so we appreciate Commissioner Chairman Sycamore taking charge this year. I think that's kind of it. And I hope you'll join us. I hope you appreciate the gardens. They're struggling a bit right now, but they'll probably bounce back. We'll probably some pansies in a few weeks when it warms up a little bit. We get a little more sunshine and get rid of the snow. And that's the purpose of the fall planting, is we do a cold weather deal that takes us through to the spring, and spring we put our warm weather stuff in. So happy to answer any questions. Appreciate your consideration and support.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Willis. Does anyone have any questions from the committee members? All right, Mr. Willis, I do have a quick question. How long have you been asking for this grant, and has it always been for this amount?
I don't know exactly how many years. We did it for a year or two a while ago, and then did not. And then I would say it's been 3 or 4 years. I mean, I could look at my records here, but it's been more than a year.
That's okay. Yeah, it's fine. I just want to make sure that we establish that we have a history of giving you this grant.
Yeah, definitely, and
Yeah.
$500, and we do appreciate that. And obviously, Ms. Fields could comment on that from last year if needed.
Yeah, Ms. Fields, please go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's been great sponsoring this work party. I've actually seen Jeffrey outside many a times, you know, at the gardens tending to it, and so it's always very inspiring. I love what he said about, you know, getting back into that spring feeling because we definitely need that. I did want to ask about what plants you guys are going to be doing, or if our money is going to be funding the plants again. I didn't know if this is my time to ask a question, but I'm always excited to hear what you guys put in the garden.
Yeah, we bring in seasonal plantings, which have the biggest blast of color that we put on the ends of the intersections. There'll be some ornamental grasses. There will be some petunias, and we're moving into some more drought tolerant stuff, lantana this year. And we might have a few more phlox, which gives a little blast of color early in the spring to touch up. And, you know, I should say we did add last fall these sidewalk beds up there at the corner of Vermont and Florida, which have a similar composition. And of course, the big triangle garden up there is part of this as well. And we have good support from folks in the Rhapsody condo on that. So it's become ever expanding.
Actually, that's a great question, Mr. Wills. That just made me think of this. And Miss Jean Kuzma, I will call you in just 1 second. Mr. Wills, the sidewalk planters, because I know there's quite a few of them. They stretch pretty much right down towards Whole Foods, and then down a little bit on across the way on Florida, near the 930 Club. Are you going to be taking care of those as well? And then down towards, I believe it's like Shakers and all of that area. Are you going to do in all that, or is it just the ones in front of the Rhapsody?
I got my hands pretty full. I'd be happy to partner with anybody, you know, who steps forward, and we are trying to transform the pretty nasty big bed right there on Vermont at the very north end. As it hits Florida, it was fortunately planted and abandoned by DDOT. They were literally 4-foot tall weeds in there, and we're talking about with the Rhapsody folks whether they can generate the folks and whether we can get extra money. So that would be our first addition, I think, if we do it. And frankly, at the southern end of Vermont Avenue, they've now put in some more beds out there separating, you know, bike lanes and vehicle lanes that may hit a similar fate. I don't have a contact down there that could really support that right now, but we would love to take that on too. And, you know, if folks at Floridian would step up, if any of the other businesses would, we could certainly talk to them about that. I mean, that would be great.
So I was actually just, I'm sorry, another question. Have you reached out to any of the businesses there, such as Wet Dog, Pop, what else is right there? I think the bottle shop is gone, but have you reached out to them or I believe that apartment condo building as well to see if they'd be interested in sponsoring anything, or even American Ice Company?
Well, you've mentioned a bunch of people already sponsoring us, and I can bounce through
perfect.
if you want, but Wet Dog generously supplies us with water, which is a very important thing there. Pop Fizz gives us a door prize. Pedro there at the foreign car service place, the door prize,
Oh,
Ice House door prize, 930 Club money. So we have, I should say, we have 5 or 6 other major sponsors who supply us very important things, like Fort Myer Construction brings out our safety cones, which are essential, and Casey Trees loans us tools and safety vests, and gloves and all sorts of things. And, we have major donors in the neighborhood. We had about 20 door prize folks, last time around. So it's probably 100 people by the time you take the volunteers and the other people, supporting this, to pull this together. Nellie's gives us lunch and has for a long, long time. So yeah, we're very engaged with the local, businesses on this, which is it's a very nice community thing. And, I've heard a lot of our volunteers just come up to me and say, this was great. This is just a wonderful way to get our hands dirty, meet some neighbors, and beautify the neighborhood. There's a lot of things that we fight about in here, we struggle with the nightlife and so forth, but this is something everyone just really enjoys, and it's really rewarding.
well, that's wonderful to hear. I know I certainly appreciate your hard work every year. I believe, I'm sorry, Jean Huzma?
Tomza. Jean Homza.
Oh, thank you. Homza,
Thank
thank
you.
you. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm Jean Homza from the 930 Club, and I don't think you really need me to advocate for this, but I am here to advocate for what Jeffrey does and has been doing. It's phenomenal. It's something that you almost wish the city could replicate, but then it would lose its Jeffrey Willis flavor, and there is nothing like Jeffrey Willis. And so yes, we've been supporting for a long time. We give them raffle tickets, so volunteers have an opportunity to see a show, as well as we've been giving him money, and he is very good at soliciting it. But if you know of any businesses that would be interested, because I believe firmly, maybe you've heard me talk on other committees, but I believe firmly that metro, the African American Civil War metro, is the gateway to the eastern part of our community. And coming up Vermont, that is certainly where our customers come. People going to Whole Foods, to Howard University students. So it's what Jeffrey does is phenomenal. And if he didn't do it, it would just be dirt, maybe a couple of trees, I don't know. So I'm here to advocate, and I would hope this committee would consider loosening the purse strings some around what you grant. I mean, that's probably new business, but yeah, I think $1,000 would be really appropriate for something like this. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Jean. No, I agree. Unfortunately, we are bound by some laws and some other policies that are beyond the ANC's control, unfortunately. But I am definitely going to be working on that. That's on my agenda items. Mr. Nelson, I see you raised your hand. Let me see if I can promote you really quick. All right, Mr. Nelson, you're on. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. I just also want to chime in. I've known Jeffrey for many, many, many years. I won't say how many. And I also know Jean. I worked with her through Police CAC many years ago. And this project is one that wholeheartedly is his doing. I totally understand it. I do a little project on my own block that's the same, that's on a parcel of land that sits out on a corner, and I worked with Howard on, because it's actually their property, but I actually do the work. And it totally changes the whole atmosphere of the block when you have flowers and grass and greenery versus trash and dog poop. So I put my 2 cents in to support this, and hope that you guys do too. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nelson. It's always wonderful to have you on. In case anybody doesn't know, Mr. Patrick Nelson is very, very involved in our community. Before the redistricting, he was in 1B and now is up in 1E due to redistricting, but he's still very, very actively involved in ANC 1B business. So that's fantastic. Thank you so much, Patrick, for that input. I think at that point, does anyone have any questions? And I do see Miss Selena Gonzalez has joined us. Welcome.
Thank you, everyone.
Not a problem. We'll get back to you in just a few minutes, but we are going to probably be taking a vote here. But I do have a question for Miss Fields. Again,
Yeah.
do we need to have a proposal in a second or a motion in a second for this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So would I have anybody who wants to motion this grant proposal?
I can make a motion. I move that
Okay.
we approve the grant proposal for $500 to sponsor Vermont Avenue Garden Work Party in April.
Second.
All right, I hear a second. Thank you so much. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hand or by saying aye. All right, all those opposed? Abstentions? Ms. Gonzalez, what did you vote?
I voted aye.
Aye. All right, the ayes have it. Thank you so much. Unanimous. Thank you so much, Mr. Wallace, or I'm sorry, Willis. Thank you so much for your time. And thank you so much, Jean, and thank you so much, Patrick. I very much look forward to seeing what's going on. And we should be talking to you soon. And I hope that this is not the last time that we are engaged in dialogue and coordination with each other. I really hope we can move forward and do some wonderful things together.
Mr. Chairman, am I still on?
Yes, you are.
Okay, just want to follow up very quickly, very briefly. So thank you so much, Jean and Patrick. And I do want to point out that we work very closely with the memorial, which, yes, is a huge arrival point for this area. But we also do plantings over there and work with Frank and have for many, many years on that. There was a little confusion last time in following up to get the check. So I just want to prompt you. I don't know what, if you're familiar with the process. Let me know if I need to do anything else to make that happen.
You got it. I will, once it passes the full commission, we will have Aaron, Commissioner Aaron Lemon-Strauss, reach out to you, who's our new treasurer. And he will have all the details on that, I believe. But I can clarify that for you.
I'm jumping the gun, sorry. And I will be I will be joining the full committee meeting. Yeah, those eggs haven't hatched yet, but I'll be at the full committee meeting. Thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you so much. All right. So I think that is our only item of business that we have right now. There was one thing that I wanted to actually, how do I take people off? Sorry, disable talking. Sorry, I'm still new to this. All right. So there is one thing that I wanted to talk about really quick, and that was our use of a photographer, for a student photographer. And actually, our admin assistant, Karen, can probably speak a little bit more to this. There's nothing really to vote on, but I think we just wanted to bring this up and talk about how we want to use this student photographer within our community, within our committee, and in the greater ANC 1B in general. So Karen?
Yeah, happy to share. I'm really excited about this. So I'm Karen Lee. I'm the admin assistant. I'm the person behind the scenes that is, working out all the details and sending emails. So happy to be able to meet you guys in this committee meeting, and really excited to bring forth an idea that started with Ashley last year. And I think we're bringing it to fruition. So glad that you're in this conversation to be able to hear it. My day job puts me in schools across DCPS, and one of which is Columbia Heights Education Campus. And they have this incredible photography teacher who is doing wonderful things with her students in her class. And I happened to have been there late last year on a day they were getting back from a photo walk. And I'm like a nerd for students engaging in their interests and their passions. And so sat down to the class, was like, show me what you got from this walk, and sat specifically with one student who is so proud of the pictures he took. And he like captured like 70 images when they were only supposed to be getting like 10. And we went through them, and he was just really proud and talked about how he wanted to have a side business of photography and to be able to sort of grow in it. And so I came back to Ashley and was like, hey, have we ever? Do you think we could? And I'm at the point where I'm offering up, he is submitting, I met with him in an official pitch where we looked at like what it would look like to go out into 1B and take pictures of life and businesses and people and places and things that define 1B. And so in our pitch meeting, he had the boundaries up and he already had ideas of where he'd like to go, and talked about whether or not we want day shots or night shots or a mixture of both. And then we'd be able to feature his images in our communication and on our website, giving him credit as a way to start sort of his business and publicly displaying his skills. So it is an ask around $500 for 20, I think it's 20 images. And he would take a lot more, but he would work to make those images ready for the website and ready for communication. And then my hope is that we'd be able to help grow his budding business, whether it's through word of mouth and our own connections and organizations, or whether it's continuing to get his images for different capacities within 1B. So that's my pitch. Feel free to ask me any questions.
Wonderful. So is this something that we want to take on and vote on tonight, or would you like to table that for the next committee meeting, or do you want to try to get involved in this as quickly as possible?
He is ready to go. He just needs the yes. I was actually at Czech last week and he was like, have you heard? It's like, we're working on it. We're working on it.
That's wonderful. And if we I know we have some discretionary funds, but this is a grant. This would be a grant, or would this be for a line item for payout?
It would be for a payout. We would be contracting for his work and his skills. So not a grant, but payment.
Okay. And does this committee need to have any sort of vote on this? I'm not, sorry, I'm still a little vague on that, where Miss Fields, maybe you have the answer for that one.
Well, I mean, I understand that we would be paying him, but I do feel like there's a way that sponsorship would be possible, and that might be easier to approve tonight. Just because, as we know, the requirements are for you to have, serve more than 500 people in order to, have your stuff sponsored to the maximum amount, which would be $500. And so if he's, putting out stuff for communications, which is something the commission would need, I feel like that is a form of community engagement, but I can also see how it will go as a payout. So I just wanted to share that point and see if that swayed anything.
Okay, so what would you, I'm sorry, again, still brand new to this, so please bear with me, folks. I'm sorry. So Ms. Karen, what would you think? Would you think it would be best for us to have a vote that shows our support for this, just as a resolution?
I think that it could go both ways. I think that there is money in the budget to pay him as a contractor. And so, but I actually don't know the process of behind the scenes. And so default to Ashley, maybe more for that. So maybe, I don't know if it's annoying to say both, that if you pass it forward as a strategy, potentially as a grant or a contractor, then we can take it and figure out the fastest way to get it to him so he can get started on it.
Okay, and I haven't seen any of his work yet. I'm sorry, is it their work, his work?
His work, yes.
His work. I haven't seen any of his work yet. Is there any way that maybe we can get some samples of that?
So I have seen it as a part of the pitch meeting and have been in contact with his teacher and have seen sort of various things. I don't own any, and he hasn't publicly published them. And so I don't have the rights to be able to share. I can just say that he presented his portfolio to me in that meeting. And I feel really confident in his skill. In fact, I was like, can I put some of this on my walls? It's like, how can we get you out there?
Well, that's fantastic. Do any of the committee members have questions? Yes, Ms. Dion.
So I know you mentioned that this was a student, so I'm assuming that it's a minor.
Mm-hmm.
And so is the business something that is established as an actual business, or is this just an idea that he hopes that will turn into a business once he puts the feelers out there and he gets a little more notoriety, and then knows that this was something that could be lucrative? And if that's the case, have we had any conversations with the parent as to the support that he would have in collecting these photographs or pictures that we would have him do?
Yes, great question. This is why I think he actually qualifies more for a contractor versus the sponsorship grant, but I'd have to look at the details. It is not an official business. It is something that he's trying to get up and off the ground running. So we would just be contracting for services right now. I know a bit of his backstory and have been working, he's in close contact with his photography teacher. And I have not reached out to parents. There's a couple reasons in that, but I feel really confident with his photography teacher being involved, being able to help support the delivery of it. She's just as excited as I am. And if it makes you, I would say parent contact is a little tricky right now, and maybe just leave it at that. I think he's 17, maybe 18 in 2 months. So is an older student, if that helps ease the worry.
That's wonderful. So I'm a little hesitant just right now to take any sort of vote on this, or make any sort of proposal until we get a little bit more clarification on just like, I would like to kind of take a look at his work, allow this committee to also kind of take a look at his work. Maybe if he's willing to come and maybe we can talk to him a little bit. So like, what's his vision? And, you know, because I think this is a fantastic idea. I just want to kind of get a better all around vision. And I'm not sure if any of the other committee members agree with that or not, or if you have an opposing view, please let me know.
Can I jump in really quickly? I think being on
sure.
email chains, Chair was asking for it to run through this committee to make sure it is in line with your outreach strategies, not necessarily in line with approval. So
Got it. Okay.
it will live on the web. I need images for the website. And so I think that's why if we can contract him, I can get some images of the neighborhood that are not stock photos and that we don't have to figure out who to give credit for, because I just can't pull any image from the website. So this means I can put his name at the bottom, we can own the image, and we can go forward with it. I think he was wanting to run it through the committee to make sure it's in line with the outreach strategies, in line with the like principles in which you're looking for outreach and engaging community members in the work of 1C or 1B, excuse me.
Got it. Well, I think it definitely aligns with our values. Is everyone frozen? Am I the only one that's frozen? Anybody else?
I don't see anybody frozen.
Oh, okay, never mind. So I think it totally aligns with our vision and our mission as far as community engagement is concerned. I have no qualms with that. Oh, I see Mr. Patrick Nelson. Let me see if any committee members have a question first, and I do want to be respectful of people's time because I know we are approaching 7 o'clock. Any committee members have a question for Ms. Karen? Okay, Mr. Nelson, I will promote you now. Go ahead.
Karen, just a quick comment. I understand what Jamie is concerned about doing this tonight, but if you're going to hire him to do this, to get your photos to put on the web, it might be better for you to do them as a consultant in the sense that you can write into his contract and he'll be signing off on that he's freeing up these photos for you, so you don't get into any legal issues of him coming back and saying, you're using my photos and I didn't say so. If you just gave him a $500 grant or whatever, that might lead you open to some issues down the road.
Thank you for that. He has submitted a proposal that has that statement on it that we would have rights for his photos in it, along with the amount and the numbers in which he's charging us. So just like any other contractor, he's submitted a proposal for his services.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm comfortable saying, having a vote and saying that this aligns with our mission and our vision as a committee. I like now if the commission comes back and says that they want more information, if they need more substance to it, then obviously we'll take that as we need. But I don't mind bringing that up as a resolution, to saying that we do support that it's in line with our mission and our vision. Does that work? So would any of our committee members like to make a motion for the resolution? And I will type that up soon. Ms. Fields? Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry. Thank you. Sorry. I would love to move to support it. I did just have one question or concern kind of, and I hate to bring it up just because, but since he's like a starting out artist, he's a student, he's still, under the age of 18. I was wondering if we might have him, and I don't know how it's written up, but sign over the publishing rights to us, but not necessarily ownership, just because he is so young and he's, starting out in his career. That was just a thought, but I would move to support this, so I guess we can put that down too and have a second.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with you on that. I think that's something that we can take up with the commission, as far as that's concerned, and work out those logistics. But I think just as far as does it align with our committee's mission and vision, I believe it does, or at least in my opinion, but everybody else obviously has to agree as well. So thank you for the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you for the second. All those in favor of supporting, please raise your hand or say aye. Okay, Ms. Aubrey, okay, and all those opposed? Abstentions? Ms. Aubrey, you are frozen. I'm not sure which you've done. I see
was in
your
favor.
hand is frozen. You're in favor. Okay, thank you. Wonderful. The ayes have it. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Ms. Gonzalez, you also voted in favor. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Oop. Is everyone freezing? Hello?
Hi, I said yes, correct. I'm not sure if you were able to hear me.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Sorry. Thank you. I think I might be
No worries.
getting a weak connection. All right.
No worries.
Wonderful. So all in favor, thank you so much. The motion passes. Fantastic. All right. And I want to be respectful of everyone's time. So we're just going to kind of move through these really kind of quickly. I would like to discuss our scope of work for this committee. Again, I want this to be an open dialogue, an open discussion. I think we can go, is everyone okay with us going maybe 10, 15 minutes over? Is that all right?
Sounds good.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. I feel like everyone's still frozen on my end. I don't know why. But anyway, I would like to discuss the scope of work. For this committee, I think we're going to have basically two big two large responsibilities. One is going to be reviewing grant applications like we've just done tonight in support of the community. I will be sending out all of those parameters to you shortly, so that everyone is up to speed and everyone knows exactly what we can be voting on and what the parameters are for grant applications. The second thing that we're going to be doing, again, is community outreach. The thing that I really love and the thing that's really I want to be really focused on. So I want all sorts of ideas. I would love to have different out of the box thoughts and ideas. So like having a youth talent show, finding a space and a venue within 1B, work with other commissions such as in 1A, 1C, 1D, 1E, and have a collaborative effort to make sure that we are outreaching to every single population that we possibly can. So even if it comes down to going out to that workout session that's outside of the metro, making sure that we're there, provide some sort of sponsorship, have some sort of thing, go to the funk parade. We want to have fun. We want to engage our community. So that's really where I want to focus. And I really would love to have any and all ideas on the table. No ideas too silly. And I also want to make sure that we get some swag and some t-shirts and things of that nature so that we are easily identifiable, that we are out there in the community, that people know that we are here. And we have the money to spend. So I'm really excited to just go gung-ho on this. Do you have any comments, questions, concerns?